Salutations. Welcome to another episode of Cardiac Perspective. And today I am going to share a story. Yesterday, I'll be watching different people platform. So yesterday I was watching this young cat named Ty Boogie podcast. Make sure you go follow him. He got some good content over there. That's Ty Boogie. But he was showing the show, a segment per se, and they was talking about foster care, and I was listening to some of the stories, and it hit something with me because I myself have grown up in foster care. You know what I'm saying? I've been to think 6 different foster families through my time period. So yeah, I understood a lot of those people's pain. But long story short, I was asked to share a story. So here I am. Now, one of the stories I'm going to share was one of my first foster families, literally the first one. Now, when I was taken in by them, at this time, I had just turned 5. I was still paralyzed. I didn't know how to walk at the time. It was a horrific experience. I'll share that story later on down the line. But long story short, I had to learn a lot of things as far as, I had to learn how to walk again. So in the midst of me learning how to walk, I learned about school and all this and that. And I used to just feel indifferent. That family made me feel indifferent, because one thing I will say about foster families, you do have the parents or parent, and then you have the siblings. Now, a lot of the times, the siblings are their flesh and blood. So it's always going to be a division. You know what I'm saying? So long story short, I used to always notice how I would get treated differently. I just didn't know what to do about it. I'm 5 years old. What the hell? So, but I remember one day, and definitely, they used to always like semi-torture me. What you mean by semi-torture? What are we talking about here? All right. Now, given my background of what I just went through, I was very timid. So a lot of things used to scare me. Case in point, the vacuum cleaner. When you vacuum clean your car, that used to scare the life out of me. When I was a kid, I used to watch them vacuum cleaner. I didn't get scared of the vacuum cleaner until they put it on me. And then I'm going into shock and this and that. And I'm just like, what the hell? And when you have a combination of the parent and the children coming to form forces against you, then you have a problem. Here's a scenario. I really can't recall what I did at this time. All I know is I didn't break nothing. Actually, you know what it was? It was because I lied. I lied about my bike. Now, I had to teach myself how to ride a bike. So in the midst of me teaching myself how to ride a bike, I'm just riding everywhere at this point. It was a car coming in the street. And I swerved off to the side to get into the grass and then back on the sidewalk. But it was a big ass rock that I hit. You know how you sometimes, this was sometime in Chicago, so you'll be having block yards with big ass bricks with them and just big boulders. But long story short, I hit the brick, bang. I flipped off my bike. I hit my head on the back of the rock. Now I got a big knot. And then I came up with a lie because I didn't want them to know that I had fucked my own self up. Because 1, it was embarrassing. 2, I knew that they was going to take away my bike because they figured, hey, if you fucking yourself up, you shouldn't even be riding this thing. But that was it. I lied to them. And you know what my punishment was? My punishment was for me to get on my back like a turtle. Think of a turtle being stuck on its shell. So I'm on my back, and they got my legs up. So it's like I'm almost like a gymnast. But then they had their daughter, and she was a little fat girl and whatnot. They had her sit on the back of my legs. So basically, my legs is at my feet, and this little girl is sitting right on the back of my legs. And everybody just thought it was funny. All the family, the mother, the father, the older brother, and the little girl. She was laughing. She was eating her potato chips while she sat on my leg. And I'm just sitting back here like, what the hell? In front of everybody, like this was just a grand time event. That's just one of many horrific stories. You know what I'm saying? I feel a different way about foster care because, you know, when I realized that I was getting jerked, and because I've been in houses where I never even had no clothes. You know what I'm saying? No clothes, no shoes. What Black Rob say, it was a bummer. Rocking the shit I rock all summer. That type of vibe. Yeah. So had I known that I was supposed to be getting broke off, I probably didn't even have to go through poverty per se. But that's neither here nor there. Long story short, for all the people who have survived these circumstances, you know, especially the ones who didn't get adopted. I never got adopted. I went from foster home to foster home to foster home to foster home to foster home, and then they start throwing me in group homes. I've been about the 3 to 4 group homes. Then they put me in mental institutions. It was crazy. It was crazy. When the system don't know what to do with a kid that had nothing to do with anything but come to earth, and then they take that kid and they put things into his mind and they just switch him up with all types of random different people. I had so many experiences, good and bad. Overall, I'm just glad that I was able to stay focused and look through it and push through and persevere because, you know, realistically, that was the blueprint for failure, you know, especially when you're growing up in Illinois, Chicago, and you got to go through all these other things along with not being loved, facing neglect. You wonder why gangbanger life looks so enticing to these kids? That's just one thought. But yeah, man, that's my perspective. That's my story. Fuck perspective. That's my story. And yeah, man, shout out to Ty Boogie. Hey, there you go, bro. That's just one of the few, bro. It was real. But yeah, I made it out here. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm trying to do my thing on here. But, you know, it's all good. Lovely day. Have a good one. Berries.